The 80s, 60s, and 50s created some of the boldest fragrances ever made, but most of them did not survive untouched. Ingredients, regulations, and formulas changed, yet somehow a few legends are shockingly close to their original selves, with a few legends bearing only a passing faint resemblance of themselves. They are muted ghosts of themselves, and many are today. And the question is whether the ghost is still good company today. On today's video, I'm going to share and explain two perfumes that have made it through the decades, still worthy of your money, still carrying their original characters, and there will be one perfume that has lost their inherent power when we come back. So we have two beautiful perfumes on my tray today that I believe are shockingly close and have withstood the test of time in their performances today. And I will talk about one big one that hasn't. Now all three, these two and the one that hasn't, are real. Neither is the original, because the original no longer exists. So when a collector rhapsodizes about a pre-IFRA SAMSARA, they're describing the original formula at a specific concentration, at a specific stage of oxidization, in a specific bottle. Someone may rave about owning an older version of Samsara. I've got the older batch. I've got an older version. I've got a beautiful vintage bottle. And that's great because I also do the same and get the same whenever I can. But they're describing the original or early formula at a specific concentration, at a specific stage of oxidization. Each one is a ghost with its particular quality of presence, a perfectly preserved specimen. Those vintage bottles? Yes, yes. Or it just may be an oxidized version that has developed secondary characteristics through degradation. And that's the word, degradation. So neither the early formulation or the newer formulation are wrong. Both are real. Neither is the original, because the original no longer exists. Let's head straight into Samsara, Guerlain Samsara. Currently, it is notably brighter, yet very thin in comparison to the original, with its defining creaminess very absent. It carries none of the gravity that made the original irreplaceable. Samsara was launched in 1989. They had built the entire fragrance around one ingredient, which is the Mysore sandalwood from India. A dense, powerful, almost meditative scent, one of the greatest sandalwood compositions of the 20th century. Now, IFRA progressively tightened restrictions alongside the Indian government restrictions on harvesting which eventually brought supply to a standstill. Yes, yes. Now the current version is notably brighter and thinner than the original, and the creaminess and gravity is absent. What replaced Mysore sandalwood are synthetic molecules, the javanol, the polysantol, and the javanol derivatives, technically sandalwood adjacent, but carry none of the original gravity that made the original irreplaceable. Now, the cultural footprint of this famous perfume is enormous. And its emotional associations for people who are now in their 50s, 60s, and 70s are deep. We remember this scent. We are emotionally associated to Samsara. The name survived, but the formula did not. Now, if you wore this scent in the 80s and 90s, you already know what it meant to put it on, when you were putting it on, at the time. Yes, yes. You walk into a room, heads turn. Someone you have never met leans in slightly. A few minutes later, she says it. What are you wearing? Well, here are two perfumes of different eras and years, 2005 and 1956. Ingredients, regulations, formulas have changed since 2005 and 1956. Silent reformulations. We were never told when, but they just happen. And your skin changes after 40 and 50, darlings. What worked at 30 may be quietly working against you now. Same bottle, but different woman. But there are two fragrances that have simply kept their inherent powers, their quality, that accommodate these changes in women. A love letter that just continues to envelop you. You know, the assumption that older is always better is wrong. The assumption that newer is always worse is also wrong. The only reliable test is your own nose. Yes, darlings, your own very own nose. DIORISSIMO contains no muguet. DIORISSIMO 1956 is the lily of the valley masterpiece that contains no lily of the valley. The flower yields nothing and cannot be extracted. Roudnitska released this masterpiece in 1956, and it is still a masterpiece today. Now, his name was Edmond Roudnitska. He was born in Nice in 1905 and died in Cabris in 1996. In between, he composed maybe 18 perfumes the world saw, and 2 books, aesthetic philosophy type books. He took the Rochas Commission for Femme in 1943, while occupied Paris was starving. Yes, yes. And in 1947, he walked out and he bought a villa above Grasse called Saint Blanche, and he opened his own studio outside Perfume. He never went back to the corporate lab. He composed at home and grew his own gardens. Therese Rudnitska, Edmond's wife, and him met in Paris in 1942, and their early years of their relationship was walking and taking long walks in Paris among all the muguets, which is quite ironic, isn't it? Because there is no muguet in this, or real muguet, that is. So Therese Rudnitska was also the principal evaluator at Arte Parfum. Now the trials came to her bench. The proportions were weighed at her nose, and to call her a muse is to do what the trade does to female collaborators across every artistic medium of the 20th century. Oh, she's a muse. Oh, she didn't do that much for DIORISSIMO, but she did. She was not a piece of furniture in a man's biography. She was the second nose in the room, and frequently the first one to tell him the composition was either complete and ready or not. Now the trade version goes like this. Christian Dior loved muguet, muguet, muguet. So then he, Christian Dior, commissioned a bottle from the perfumer he trusted the most, Edmond Roudnitska. So Edmond composed it. Now trials were done at Therese and Edmond's muguet garden bed at their premises. And the perfume world has been too lazy, darlings, to revise and share stories about this partnership. And the perfume companies, with all its literature, etc., left quite a few things out when it came or comes to DIORISSIMO. Therese's hand is widely traced in the border catalogues. It is still on record. And it was the greatest partnership in the life and beginning and birth of DIORISSIMO. Yes. Now, all Rudnitska's compositions from 1947 onwards were composed and recorded inside a working part ownership of two noses. And the work of the second nose has been systematically undercredited. The undercredit was not an oversight. It was just the price of being the wife. Yes. Yes, yes. Just waking up the cards, darlings, before we head straight into Flower Bomb. Yes, there is a full moon on the 31st, which for us in Australia is tomorrow night. And it is a full moon in Sagittarius. The planet of abundance, darlings. Big. Everything big. Dream big. Manifest big. Think big. Feel big. Yes. Just warming up the cards before we go right into Flower Bomb, the second perfume on the trade today. Isn't it amazing? I think we began with that particular card on top, if I'm not wrong. Wow. Victor and Rolf, Flower Bomb. Yes, it is everywhere. Yes, it is called Predictable by fragrance collectors. And yes, Victor and Rolf Flower Bomb is still one of the most complimented perfumes on earth. Not because it is trendy, but because it is built on a formula that is simply chemically and psychologically hard to not like. The patchouli, the jasmine sambac, the rose, and the freesia. All of them wrapped in a warmth that makes this fragrance like something you are wrapped in. Yes. Flower Bomb does not care what year it is, darlings. Neither do the people who stop you to ask what you're wearing. The first scent to introduce that gourmand trend in 2005. So not much has changed in formulation, and there would have been a few. So there's no secondary characteristics in 21 years since this came out. No degradation, no loss of gravity or loss of warmth. They're all still intact. The facets of warmth. The grenade. Gorgeous. Come here. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Now this bottle has sort of creamed a little bit in the 2 years that I've had her opened but put away. And it's brought on itself a rather blush coral pinky tone, which tells me that it has matured in the 2 years I've had her. Gorgeous juice in a bottle. The most complimented perfume on earth. Darlings, this is one of the most important 48 hours before a full moon, especially considered important by witches, Wicca, pagan, occultists, and anyone believing in esoteric, spiritual things. You can make your belief into what you want it to be. You can dream and hope and manifest and wish. You can burn sage or not burn sage. You can burn myrrh. Whatever you feel like, and make it yours. A highly potent 48-hour window is open, darlings. Let's have a look. Number 20. Vivid and visions. Receive the time and space to soak in the divine river of your inner dreams. This is especially important for the full moon tomorrow night, darlings. I'll just turn that down. This is a very important message in connection to tomorrow's full moon in the big, expansive planet of Jupiter. Vivid visions. Receive the time and space to soak in the divine river of your inner dreams. Wonderful. Swaying and softness. Enjoy a blissful release of the lower rivers. Letting all tension leave your body. If this is what you are asking in tomorrow's full moon, it is related to soaking in the divine river of your inner dreams. I'm noticing river and flow in these two cards. Receive the time and space to soak in the divine river of your inner dreams. Enjoy a blissful release of the lower rivers, letting all tension leave your body. Manifest and ask Jupiter tomorrow night for this. Truth and bliss. Catch falling nectar with open palms and an open heart. How gorgeous. Now this card flew out and we must read her. Number 16. Clearing and pause. In stillness, become one with luminous reflections. See yourself as the beloved. The luminous reflections, darlings, will be the light of the full moon tomorrow night. Stand under it. Soak in its rays and warmth and powers. In stillness, become one with luminous reflections. See yourself as the beloved. Do this on the full moon. Absolutely divine message. And there you have it, darlings. I hope you love the video. Please press the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help the channel, and it does let me know about what videos you sort of like me to make more of, or make me make more of. I can be funny, darlings. All right then. Well, I'll see you on the next video, and until then, enjoy and manifest your dreams tomorrow night. Your time. Look out for it. Google it. And I'll see you all on the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.